Well, good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Jay coming to you from Cornerstone Church. We are coming together just before Jesus 45 on Thursday, and we are doing our Digging Deeper devotional together, which one of my good friends calls Pastor Jay's Musings, and I guess that's what they are. But this is our way of sort of digging deeper into the sermon subject from Sunday. And our sermon on Sunday was called Wound Up in Fasting and Prayer. But I think a better title for it is Fasting for the Foundations, because that's what we are preparing for. That's what we began preparing for on Sunday. Because between Ascension Day and Pentecost Sunday, we as a church are going into a time of fasting and prayer. And Sunday morning sermon was used to show us that to bring from the scripture the fact that the early church only moved forward when it came together to fast, pray, and worship. And so this was the springboard from which all the other things they did started. They would fast, they would pray, they would worship God, and out of that springboard they would fellowship, they would break bread, and they would begin to figure out how to meet needs within their community and in the larger community that they lived in. They would become the true witnesses of power that God meant them to be out of fasting, prayer, and worship. So we're talking about the power of prayer, fasting, and worship for the rest of our time together this week. Edwin Harvey says, "A day without prayer is a day without blessing, and a life without prayer is a life without power." One of the reasons Christians struggle so much with walking in the power of God is because we do not pray enough. We satisfy ourselves with 5-minute devotions just before work, and we make the excuse that we don't have any more time than that to pray or to study the Bible. And the truth couldn't be farther from that. We have time to do anything we want. We have lots of time to scroll on Facebook and YouTube, but we don't have time to pray. A life without prayer is a life without power, Edwin Harvey. Oswald Chambers says, "We have to pray with our eyes on God, not on the difficulties." One of the largest things that prayer can do for us is it can begin to help us see the largeness of our God and the smallness of our difficulties. However great our difficulties are, they are not bigger than our God, and God always has a solution. Alexander White said, "The greatest and best talent that God gives to any man or woman in the world is the talent of prayer." Can I tell you, Christian, that the greatest thing you can do for your church is to join it in prayer? You can do lots of other services. In fact, we should do other services for our church. But the first duty and the greatest power and talent we have is the power and talent of prayer. D.L. Moody said, "Every great movement of God can be traced to a kneeling figure." One of the things that I know, I don't just think or wish. I was going to say hope, but hope is a certainty, not a wish. I don't just wish this. I know that we are in the midst, at the beginning of a move of God. And if that movement is to continue, it will only continue if God's people pray. Erica Dawson says this, "If we truly love people, we will desire for them far more than it is within our power to give them. And this will lead us to prayer. Intercession is a way of loving others. If we truly love people, we will pray for them." And so today, as we begin to get ready for Jesus 45, I just want to encourage everybody here, take some time to pray. Pray and spend time in the presence of God, gain the power that He has offered to you, and then move into that power through intercession to pray for yourself and for others, the things that you have need of. Until we meet again tomorrow, God bless you and be at peace.